Now, if you're scrolling through social media this morning, you may notice a big difference, mainly on Twitter, because the little blue bird icon that used to make this noise, which I never understood because it was just stupid.
Well, it says Twitter. Play it back. It says Twitter. See?
It doesn't say Twitter.
It does. That's what it's meant to. That's what it's meant to sound like. Twitter.
Well, they failed miserably.
So it makes you feel like you got a message. That's how it's meant to work. Honestly, that's the God's honest truth.
Anyway, the little blue bird on Twitter, that logo has gone, and it's been replaced instead by a large white X on a black background. It's on my desktop here in front of me. It is massively confusing. It's because the owner of Twitter, Mr. Elon Musk, has fancied a bit of a rebrand. Here to tell us what on earth he's playing at is social media expert from Kiel, Dr. Laura Higson-Bliss. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
You're all right. Thank you for coming on. This may take some explaining. What on earth is Elon Musk doing, Laura?
Well, I think it's safe to say he is catching the headlines at the very least. We know that since he took over Twitter that he has done several changes to the platform, but this is probably the biggest one that he's done since he took ownership. He did say when he originally took over Twitter that he did want to create something different. And in mind, he has what he's referring to as a super app. So instead of Twitter just being a place to communicate with individuals, he envisions a platform where we'll be able to continue to communicate, but also shop, be able to do our banking, be able to play games. And instead of having loads of different apps on your phone, you just need the one app, which will be X, and you can do everything from there.
But why change something that is literally one of the biggest brands in the world? You can do all that kind of stuff on Twitter anyway. Why change the brand, the logo, which is so iconic, so well recognised? All it's got to do is irritate people, isn't it? Because we all know people don't like change at the best of times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can definitely say it has irritated people, but it has actually brought people back into the discussion about Twitter. So we know that since he's taken over, revenue has actually dipped in Twitter. So this is a way of getting people talking. And we know that social media platforms do change quite a lot. And in particular, we have seen in the past where Facebook's made changes, that has created some uproar with users, but those changes always remain. So it's nothing new. Some might say perhaps it is a publicity stunt.
That's what the skeptics are saying, aren't they? That he's just doing it for publicity. He just wants to change it, put his own stamp on things. What does it mean for the future of Twitter? Are we going to see the brand of Twitter now just sadly or happily in some ways just fade away?
I think it's still up in the air at the moment. We can see that he does have a vision for the platform, which is very different to what Twitter actually is. But we can see that actually social media platforms at the moment are in a state of flux as it is, because we've seen Threads recently has been released, and we've seen actually TikTok in the last couple of hours have announced that now they're moving away from just a video-based platform to being able to use text. So this could just be a sign of social media evolving.
Oh, God, that's something to be excited about, isn't it? Blimey, couldn't get enough of social media. Anyway, I wanted to get rid of it in the first place. Now it's evolving and expanded. Fascinating insight, Laura. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. Laura Higson-Bliss from Kiel talking to us about the changing face of social media. And literally, if you go onto your app or the Twitter website this morning, it is actually a changing face. That bluebird icon has disappeared. It's turned into a white X on a black background. It looks odd, I'll be honest with you, but it's all part of a rebrand. And you just heard Laura there explaining the reasons why. If you are a